Although summer's days were numbered, on September 15, 1776, a dirty, unwelcome heat still blanketed the region around New York City. Men sweated in their wool uniform coats, women in their stays and gowns. Americans were in their second year of war. The conflict that had begun accidentally at Lexington, Massachusetts in April 1775 had initially seemed to many a continuation of the disturbances that had roiled the colonies for a decade. Americans had endured the Stamp Act riots, the slaying of 5 Boston patriots by regular troops, the dumping of the tea, the boycotts, and the debates. With the bloody battle at Bunker Hill, the Patriots' ultimately futile invasion of Canada, and George Washington's successful effort to drive the British Army out of Boston in March 1776, the war had taken on a more serious aspect. But most citizens still felt that it would ultimately be settled by reconciliation with the mother country. Then came common sense. In January 1776, the pamphlet became the fastest-selling publication ever distributed in the colonies. It did not mince words or argue for compromise. It stated flat out that monarchy, the dominant form of European government for centuries, was an artifice by which a small group of dishonest men gained ascendancy over the majority. The king was a fraud. The tradition of hereditary aristocracy was a device that robbed common people of the fruits of their labor and of their rightful inheritance. The goal of Americans should not be to find accommodation with Britain, the author insisted, but to permanently break all bonds and declare themselves free and independent states. The blood of the slain, the weeping voice of nature cries, "'Tis time to part." Thomas Paine, the author of this remarkable document, had spent most of his life in England. Yet, since having crossed the Atlantic 2 years earlier, he had embraced the American cause wholeheartedly and had shaped in prose the thoughts and aspirations of many ordinary citizens. His words electrified the colonies. George Washington, who was struggling to shape diverse militia units into a new continental army, praised the sound doctrine and unanswerable reasoning contained in the pamphlet Common Sense. He hoped the argument would push the timid delegates in Congress to declare the colonies independent. It did. The essay was circulated as a pamphlet and copied in the newspapers of every city. It was discussed over farm fences, debated in tap rooms, and argued about in colonial legislatures. Barely 5 months later, Congress took the momentous step of declaring the colonies independent.